Hello, and thanks for tuning into the Utmost Performance channel here on YouTube. I'm your host, Mario Ariave. What I wanted to do in this video was I wanted to address a question that I think many folks might have, and that's what is the role of motivation? How does motivation fit, if it does fit, and factor into success and consistent performance and all that jazz? So I wanted to address that, and I feel like I've got a great example that I can share with you guys that might really hammer this home. And unfortunately, this is a true story. It's not true anymore, but I'll get into that in a second. I've got a car that does not have air conditioning at the moment, and the air conditioning system in the car is broken. Now, I live in Texas, and it's extremely hot in the summer in Texas. So this poses a little bit of a problem, but let me break down the components of this story very quickly so that the story will make sense for you as I use this as an analogy. We're going to go ahead and call air conditioning, just air conditioning in general, we're going to call air conditioning motivation. Now, let's hop back in my car. And the question that I have is this. Without air conditioning and everything else functioning in my car, am I able to get in my car and turn it on and, let's say, drive to Dallas? The answer to that question is yes. I could very easily do that. Now, I would have the windows rolled down and it would begin to get pretty hot. In driving this car, I don't like stopping at red lights or being stopped for anything because that's when the car really gets hot. At least when I'm moving, there's some air flowing through and it's semi-bearable, but I would be able to make it to Dallas. Now, upon arriving in Dallas, hopefully I am going somewhere and this place that I'm going to has air conditioning. So if I'm visiting a friend or if I'm going to a business or something of that nature, as soon as I get out of my car, hopefully, I go inside of a building and that building has air conditioning. Can I go and get to Dallas and continue to be without air conditioning? And the answer to that would be absolutely. I can get to Dallas and park the car, and maybe I'm going to a park or some kind of outdoor place where there is not air conditioning. It still continues to be hot and I still continue to be uncomfortable, but I would be able to do that. And let's just say that I'm at a park and I'm outside for a little while and it gets pretty hot, and then I'm at the park for the allotted time that I'm going to be there, and then I jump back in my car. Would I be able to jump back in my car and drive back home here to Waxahachie? And the answer to that is absolutely, Mario, you totally could. I'd be really tired at that point, probably, and drained, and I've done things like that, and I can very much attest to you that as soon as I hop out of that car when I get home, I can't wait to fling the door open and get inside and get into some air conditioning. So I said air conditioning was motivation. Here's how this little analogy kind of fits together. Motivation is air conditioning. Can I drive around all day in a car without air conditioning if everything in the car works? Absolutely. Can I hang out outside without air conditioning? Absolutely. Can I be uncomfortable for a period of time without air conditioning? Absolutely. But at some point in this Texas heat, if I'm not careful and if I go too long without air conditioning, I'm probably going to begin to come upon some health problems like heat stroke or dehydration, severe dehydration, or something along those lines. So at some point in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I need to get to air conditioning. It's the same with motivation. Motivation, air conditioning playing the part of motivation here. Can we go about our craft? Can we go about our job? Can we go about our athletic endeavors striving towards a goal without quote unquote air conditioning and motivation? Can we just have tremendous grit and go out and train every single day and not be motivated to train, but just do the thing that needs to be done and just get it done and just train and go through the process and be faithful to it? We absolutely can. However, at some point, we need air conditioning. We need motivation in some form or another. This is why I recommend reading good books that are going to provide that for you, or watching videos, or putting up quotes and being proactive in that sense, or putting up your goals and looking at those every day to get you going. But something Can you go without motivation? You absolutely can, but you can't go without motivation forever. At some point, you are going to need it. So that's how motivation fits in. Now, on the other side of the coin, can I be someone that relies specifically just on motivation to get by, just on motivation to do the things that need to be done on a daily basis? And the answer to that is no. An individual, an athlete, a business person, anybody cannot rely strictly on motivation to push them and fuel them to do the things that need to be done on a daily basis. At some point, for lack of a better example, you're going to have to get into the car without air conditioning and you're going to have to be uncomfortable. And you're going to not be motivated to do something, but it's going to be what needs to be done, and you're going to have to just get out there and do it. So motivation does play a factor. There are times when motivation will be a little bit higher than others and it ebbs and flows. It is a necessary ingredient in order to be successful, because success relies on consistency. And in order for us to perform at a consistent level, to reach success, we've got to have that motivation to help us and to bring us out sometimes from the pit of despair. But at the same time, we also need to develop some of that grit to be able to kind of proceed forth on our journey when we don't have that motivation present. So I hope that this helps a little bit in kind of unpacking the role of motivation, because I know that some folks maybe think that just listening to me or others that you need to go without motivation, that you need to be emotionless, that you don't need to have it in order to be successful. I do believe it's necessary, but at the same time, I do believe that it has a role, and I do believe that it needs to be regulated. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Got a couple of things for you before you go. If you've come across this channel and you like what you saw, subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any other videos that are going to be coming out, and feel free to scroll through and check out some of the older videos that I've put up here that I believe have some great content for you that you can get some value out of. In addition, I've got a Facebook page by the name of Utmost Performance. I've got an Instagram account as well that goes by Utmost_performance. And lastly, if you just kind of want a one-stop shop where you can get everything I'm putting up on Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, podcast episodes that I've released, then you can go to utmostperformance.info and find that. And I forgot to mention the podcast, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. The podcast is available on iTunes. If you would just search A Champion's Mind, then you would find some fantastic episodes on there that I believe that you will listen to and gain some value from on your way to work or when you've got some downtime. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.